So congrats once again on your book, which hits shelves today. So tell me a little bit about what you hope that your book brings to the conversation surrounding abortion, especially with such a contentious Supreme Court confirmation process happening in the background as almost a backdrop to your book's release.
I think that the abortion issue is really the underlying issue behind so many things going on in America today. I think we saw it in the backdrop of the 2016 election. I think the left's fear over Trump winning was the fact that he could remake our courts, and he really has. And I think if we look at even now the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, the left really deeply fears the fact that Roe v. Wade could be overturned. And regarding the abortion pill that you mentioned, I think what we're really seeing is the fact that the left really wants abortion, whether it's the abortion pill or the surgery, to basically be seen as above all other types of elective procedures. And they really violated a lot of the rules during coronavirus as far as what is allowed. And we can see that so many businesses are closed, so many churches are closed, and yet they want to treat abortion as a necessary procedure.
Yeah, so we know that the whole safe, legal, rare, the way that it was pitched to the American public decades ago, we know that that's not exactly true. It's abortion on demand all the time for whatever reason. We know that's what the left actually wants. And so the name of your book actually struck me. It's very interesting that you chose the word "the choice," because as we know, that's what the left always says. They always call it choice, and they claim it almost as their word. However, here you are taking their buzzword and making it anew. So walk me through some of that decision-making process.
Yeah, well, I think that when it comes to abortion, we have to think about the choice to do what, and when it comes to a human life, that is the choice to kill. But what I ask my readers is, you have a choice. You as an American have a choice, and that's to be part of the pro-life generation or not. So I think that we all can choose the things that we speak up for and the things that we value. And I think that the pro-life issue is definitely one that many young people are starting to fight for.
So are you hopeful when it comes to the Supreme Court? We see Judge Amy Coney Barrett. We're hoping to get a confirmation there quickly. But however, a lot of liberal justices, a lot on the left, they say that Roe v. Wade is now settled precedent. They claim stare decisis, that's settled precedent. You can't overturn it. However, in these last few years especially, we've seen Justice Clarence Thomas. He's been laying a lot of the groundwork for overturning a lot of these past precedents that are unconstitutional, that are unjust, that are inhumane, such as Roe v. Wade. So are you hopeful that it is something that could be, in the coming years, overturned?
Absolutely. I think, like you said, with Justice Thomas, he's written about the fact that the root of this isn't from, the women's rights movement. It came out of the eugenics movement. It came out of, the desire of people like Margaret Sanger to exterminate minority groups. And Planned Parenthood is really carrying that out today by placing their clinics in minority communities. And I think the fact that there's a Chief Justice or justices like Clarence Thomas talking about this really says a lot. But I also think, for so many years, the pro-life movement has just been waiting kind of for this moment. And I think that it's finally coming, because we don't actually even need Justice Roberts in order to overturn Roe v. Wade if Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed.
And so to that point, I know that you wrote an op-ed for Newsweek recently in which you argue about viability and how that term has changed throughout the years now with medical technologies allowing us to save the lives of younger and younger children. I was hoping you could speak to a little bit about the premise of your op-ed.
Yeah, well, I talk a little bit about how the world has changed so drastically since the time of Roe v. Wade. In the time of Roe v. Wade in 1973, people asked questions like, when does life begin? And really speculated about what was happening in the womb. But since we had so much development with ultrasound, we can hear the heartbeat just a few weeks into the pregnancy, there really isn't any ambiguity as far as what is happening in the womb. And viability was one of the kind of key tenets in Roe v. Wade that sort of said that, there might be some rights there if viability is in place. And of course, they've kind of tried to distance themselves from that now. But I think we've seen with viability moving earlier and earlier and earlier that that argument is really just ever shifting and doesn't really define, when there is a human life.